So as far as location, what is the big fallacy on that is that it's not location. That's not the most critical thing, because it's function, design, and alignment, or synchronicity, or compatibility, or what actually is the most synchronistic utilitarian item, missing puzzle piece that goes in that area. Because all the time people will spend exorbitant amount of money for the perfect location for the apartment or whatever it is, and they got the loan and they got their investors, and they realize their cash flow short, or it's a restaurant or whatever it is, and they can't afford the payments, or it's a Fortune 500 company and they're in the luxury malls all over the strip malls all over the country, and they're making cash flow, but they're going broke. And yet they followed the rule, location. When reality is, it's not the key number one rule. The number one rule is the function, design, compatibility, pricing, and what fits that area. So after all these things go broke, it gives you all the opportunities to put in anything you want. And it could be replacing the apartment to office condos, or to retail, or tearing it down and doing other things. Not necessarily, but you see it a lot more in office, retail mainly, because it can be changed. All different types of businesses, and everything that has to be in alignment with the area and alignment with what's in the shopping center. And yeah, of course, the price you buy things at, and the financing you get, and all the other things that add up to it. But you can't just go with this general information and go look around all the country and say, oh, well, I got to go buy the absolute best place and the best location for the best apartment or the best mall or whatever. That doesn't always make money, because and everybody else knows in the world, if you got bad credit card interest rates, pawn shops, high insurance, high down payments, high interest rates, the world makes the most money off of the people with the crappiest credit and in the worst position, because they're dumb and they're feeding the matrix and they're making everybody rich. That's why you got all the rent to own, this and that in the ghetto. And locations are cheap. So it's not always about location. It's about somebody's mind and being able to see the dynamic side of things, the creativity side, and knowing how to understand what you can put in there, how to have it designed, engineered, how the construction aspect of it is, how much the costs are of the construction, how to manage the construction, how to get it all done and know what's feasible and what's not feasible, and time frame, and what resources or materials, if you're going to build retail location, if you want to go with steel beams, girders, and a steel roof, or you want to and do the aluminum studs and framework, or you want to speed things up because you have a shortage or whatever errors there are in the development aspect of it, piping or whatever, and manipulate things and maybe go with the wood front, a wood, wood beams and the wood roof. Just interchange things. It can be done as long as you know what you're doing and get things done in the correct timeline. Manage it where there's not cost overruns or time delays, or work around the weather and all these other things that come up. But you have to have a general understanding of how things work and that things fit together. And you want to start out in retail, then you can move into the bigger developments. You start out with the apartments and the retail. They go together hand in hand. And there's so much about retail, and it's so fascinating because it's business plus commercial real estate all combined in one, and it's such an easy way to make a lot of money. Now, you have to have a desire for it and be aggressive and want to make a lot of money, then you can make a lot of money. But if you want to go listen to everybody on the internet and get the general information of meaningless general info and get brainwashed and do things backwards and come up with syndicates, JV investors, down payments, and not learn how the really elite do it, you're going to put yourself in a box and go backwards and never see out of it and just make the small percentages, if anything, and end up having to let go of your properties. So, I mean, a lot of people advertise commercial real estate when they don't even know what they're talking about. And everybody else says about commercial real estate calculators, and they're saying, oh, this and that. Mainly, a lot of them are for wholesaler and make you 10%, which isn't telling you anything, or it's for the cash flow. And they pull out all the factors and the points and the facets, and you put it all in this calculator, and that's how you determine if it's a good deal. That's how they analyze things when it's not any of the metrics that really matter. I'm going to tell you what matters, like the top 3-4 things that matter, and what things can be altered, changed, manipulated, and made to where things will fit and not fit, what works, what doesn't, what you can pull into properties, what you can take out, what you can change about a property, what you can not do without, and how to close in a week and how to get cash up front for buying properties. Nobody talks about it because they don't even know anything about it. They have no concept, no clue. They don't even know. Because what I'm teaching is the way that it's done by the top 5% that doesn't go on the internet and doesn't tell anybody. Because they don't really want anybody knowing about it. But if you learn this, you'll see the behind the scenes of how things really work, and then you will be able to make things really work. It's a whole nother level. So, just for the record, it's your abilities, your mindset, and knowing how to do things and knowing what others don't know, like I've said before, and then you can take advantage of the whole market, which is the matrix, because all the people are doing so many errors. And if you're on the above level and you see all these things and you have the ability to fund them, it's unlimited amount of money you can make. And soon you will make a lot of money and disappear off the radar because you really don't like everybody knowing about the kind of money you make, because it draws too much attention, the wrong people, and slows you down and is just nothing but a headache. And you don't have time to screen everybody if they like you for your money, or they like to use you for your money, or they want to make a fake lawsuit or whatever they can to bring you down, because the average person is really stupid and they're very vindictively jealous, and they love to see people go down. So, I mean, if you're really wealthy and you're like a famous movie star and you like attention, yeah, that would be their thing. You're kind of protected because you're so publicly known and all that kind of stuff. But if you're just a high roller, you make a lot of money, you become on non-movie star stuff, you become just a target. And you'd rather have your life low-key and run it simple, have all the money, do all the things you like, and keep building yourself up and keep going without any resistance. Plus, you don't have to worry about proving yourself to anybody. You could just make even more money and be way more efficient. Everybody else out there is teaching all these things that don't make big money. And they even say, oh, if you get one deal, it will change everything. That's their key thing. Just sign up with our program for $5, $20, or $27, or sign up for a program for $100, all because the program sucked and they know it. So they gotta sell it for like $5-10 or whatever, and hopefully find somebody out of the group that has down payments, and then they will go and say that was from them. But the reality is that those cheap programs are teaching you just general information and have nothing exclusive or elite that they are wanting to keep from the public. And also, when you're talking about just one property changes everything, with that attitude, wholesaling, whatever, and the method they do it, it would take 20 of their deals to equal one of my deals, one of the ways I train you, because the amount of money they make is a 10 to 20% profit at tops, minus gross and all this other stuff at the end of the year, where I'm talking about double, quadruple, or tripling your money within the first year, because you know what you're doing on one project, and closing each project in a week. Like I said earlier, sometimes you may be slow. You close the deal, you make some money, and you're getting used to the learning curve and the process. But once it starts, and it maybe take you 3-4 weeks, then you got your second when you close it. But once you learn the process and it's repetitive, you're going to close and close and close. And each one of them, even if it takes a little longer to set things up or whatever, all processes on commercial real estate that I do or teach you, and I teach you the same thing I know, takes only one single week. 1 week. 1 week. Nobody even talks about that. Everybody should be like, why does all you guys take so long? What is the problem? That is a problem. Success and money is to do with speed and efficiency. You are speedy and efficient when you know exactly what others don't know, and you know how to get things done. If you take too long, all kinds of problems come up on everything. So a person that doesn't close fast, takes all that long period of time, is because, well, something's wrong. So that's some key information you should think about. So now, if you're looking to get into commercial real estate, this is the place to be. You want to be really, I could train you and get you guys on a corporation and get $1 million for that, for down payments and everything. To this day, after all this time, I've never had a person had to use any corporate money for commercial real estate, because commercial real estate on its own pays people on its own. But my commercial real estate is on its own path, and corporate funding goes on its own other path. You can use that money to buy other businesses and buy other things, cash flow, flip money, and do things like that. Or just skip commercial real estate and go down the corporate route and buy and sell businesses and get into that. Commercial real estate, I teach you how to get into franchises, replace tenants in your retail malls, and get them in, develop them for their unit, their pad, or the positioning in the parking lot, or you want to put it in the anchor tenants, whatever. Build it out to their specifications and to things that they want, that works best for them, better than where they're at. How to build up that retail mall with the right tenants and the maximum money all the way through, where it's blowing out all the other malls in the area. And even if you had other retail malls on the 3 other corners beside your corner, or where you're at in the street, I can show you how to take them out and have the best mall and have it succeed and maximize maximum profit and money out of all of them, and outdo them easily. There's a lot of tricks and a lot of ways to make a lot of money in commercial real estate. So it really matters where you learn your information, because if you, like school, you go to school, you learn all the wrong brainwash. Some people get smart enough and overcome it and learn past it, but you went through a lot of unnecessary learning that didn't make any money. If you want to make money and change your status in life, well, you need something that's going to really do it. All right, so if you want to get into commercial estate, that'd be great. Or, like I said, you want to go right into corporate funding, you can go into that. Or you want to start with credit repair. Okay, well, thanks for watching my video. My number is 312-473-4163, and my cell phone or WhatsApp is 312-218-8737. Thanks.